So welcome to another episode of Improving Your English with Pat and Rico. This is Rico in New York City. And Patrick, how are things in Germany?
Oh, well, yeah, it's a mixed situation here in Germany, Rico. Yesterday, we had the Euro Cup. Germany played against Italy and unfortunately lost 2-1. And so my German counterparts here are quite upset today. But the positive thing is that the weather is really good. You can see I'm a little sweaty, you know, a little glistening here. And the weather's so good now, a lot of folks are grilling here.
Oh, really? So what do people grill in Germany?
Oh, wow. Germany is well known for its bratwurst. Yeah. And do you know what a bratwurst is, though?
Yeah, I mean, I know what bratwurst is, but I want you to give an explanation. You could probably give a more detailed explanation.
Sure. For our students, bratwurst is really a sausage or a hot dog, or basically meat in some kind of long tube that is edible, and it's quite tasty. It's usually made out of some kind of beef or pork. And here in Germany, it's just a national food. You can have all types of wurst.
Well, you're making me hungry just hearing you talk about grilling and bratwurst. I'll have to maybe get one this weekend.
Yes.
But you know, it's a perfect segue to really introduce this week's theme of the week, which is food. And one of the reasons I picked food as a theme of the week is one of my students was telling me about his really interesting road trip that he had in Austria, where he told me he consumed entirely too much beer and food.
Yeah.
But a particular interest for me was that he really enjoyed the goulash that they serve in Austria. He told me, and for those of you who don't know what goulash is, it's a thick stew. So it's not watery like a soup. It's more thick, and so it's very hearty. And it has beans and potatoes, and sometimes it has meat. And he ate it as much as he could. He told me in a funny way that he had tried, it was either Hungarian goulash in Poland or Polish goulash in Hungary, I forget which, but it was awful, but he was very surprised at how good the goulash was.
It sounds really tasty to me. So goulash and beer, and it kind of reminds me of a joke that I found for our theme, joke of the week. Where, of course, Germany is the capital of beer, and the joke it kind of is a little bit of a play on that. So let me read it to you. Rico.
Yeah, take it away, Patrick.
Yeah, sure. A German tourist walks into a McDonald's in New York City and orders a beer. The local guy in the line behind him immediately gives him the jab. "They don't serve beer here, you moron." The German fellow felt pretty stupid, but suddenly turns to the New Yorker with a surprised look and begins to chuckle. And what's so funny? The New Yorker demands. "Oh, nothing really. I just realized that you came here for the food."
Classic.
Yeah.
So,
really
I mean, this joke is funny on so many different levels, but for our viewers and listeners, just so you know, we don't serve beer at our McDonald's here in the United States. And so it's interesting to really think about the differences of food around the world, as well as the food culture. And that brings me to the resource of the week. I was looking for, articles that I could use with my students, and I found an article about food trucks. And so in the United States, we have food trucks, which are in essence mobile restaurants. They're a restaurant on wheels in which they serve all kinds of different foods: pizza, bratwurst, etc. And the resource of the week is npr.org. I'll link to it at the end of our podcast. But the reason this resource is particularly helpful is because there's a mobile app. So for both iPhones and smartphones, Android phones, you can download the app. And a particular benefit is that it's free, and you can download recordings. So you can read the article, listen to the recording, and you can even read a transcript of the recording. So that really helps helps your listening skills when you read the article and listen to it at the same time. And just talking about the differences in food culture, it reminds me of a scene from a movie, Pulp Fiction, in which Vincent Vega, played by John Travolta, talks about how he can order a beer in a movie theater.
Yeah.
So I'll link to that movie clip as well. But
it sounds really good. I will try and use the NPR with some of my students as well. I think it's a great resource. Yeah.
It's a fantastic resource. You can create a playlist of your favorite articles, listen to them more than once, and take them wherever you go. So it's fantastic.
Okay.
But that brings us to the end of our show. So I want to remind our listeners, please check out our resources and links at the end of the podcast. And tune in next time for Improving Your English with Pat and Rico. Until then, bye.
Bye.